Everyone say five. Hear ye, the Putnam County Commission is now in session. The Honorable Chairman, Ben Rogers, all those here tonight present at the business before this commission, draw nigh, come forward, and ye shall be heard. God bless this great United States and the state of Tennessee. God bless Putnam County and this honorable commission. Mr. Chairman, I find these premises to be in order, and I so yield to the chair.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate all you do for us.
Thank you, sir.
Invocation and pledge will be given by District 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For tonight's invocation, I have the Highland Room Academy headmaster, Nick Duncan, who I told the committee meetings are usually very short. It wouldn't be but just a minute, so I obviously lied to him and beg his apologies. Forgive me. Let's pray together.
Father God, we confess that you're good. You're a good Father who always knows how to care for his people, and we're thankful for how you care for the people of Putnam County with our civil servants. We're thankful for our mayor, for our sheriff, for this commission, and for all the other men and women that serve our county in the various roles that they do. Lord, your word tells us that the civil government is to promote good and to be a terror to evil. And so, God, we pray that you would give these folks wisdom as they make decisions for the citizens of our county. And we confess together that your Son, Christ Jesus, is Lord. That he is the King of heaven and earth, of everything seen and unseen. And it's in the strong name of Jesus Christ that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody take your handsets, if you will, and just press yes, and it will stop you right there. Hang on just a second. Huh? Oh, yeah, I sure do. Thank you, Commissioner Tays.
Commissioner Jacinto.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Now, everybody, please hit confirm for me, please. Everybody, press confirm. Everybody, press confirm for me. Mr. Sandlin. There you go. Mr. Chairman, you have 22 present. You have 2 absent. Declare a quorum is present, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Before we approve the agenda, I'd like to recognize Mayor Porter to talk about the new sound system we have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We rushed to try to get the new sound system in before the commission meeting. This is not how it's going to end up sounding. We were able to get the mics in and get the old soundboard out and so forth, but we'll be working on it to where it will sound a lot better. The only thing I would caution you, as was said before, all the mics are hot all the time. So if your green light is on your mic, it's hot. And we're recording, so whatever you say, it's pretty sensitive. It's going to pick up what to record, and it's going live we put it out on our website on the internet, the commission meeting, so just be careful. We'll be working on the sound. There's some reverb that we got to work on, and we had to replace the speakers. Those got, we think, hit by lightning, knocked them out, and so this is going to be a much better system once we get all the kinks and bugs worked out of it. So if you'll just bear with us this month, we'll do our best now that we have another 30 days to work on it, that we'll get the folks, BIS, back in here and get it to where it sounds really good. So my apologies.
Thank you, Mayor. My funny fact for the day: I was attending a commission meeting in another county I will not name. The county mayor went to call a constituent a blankety blank, And instead of covering the mic like that, he hovered over the mic, and it went straight through the speakers. So two words of advice for you. If you want to talk bad about me, hold the mic with your fist or step back. I will not name the county. Okay. Number 5, motion to approve the agenda.
They could pay me $10 and I'll mute the mic for them.
There you
Just
go.
kidding.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second on the agenda. Any discussion or changes? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We have an approved agenda. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion, second on the minutes of the previous meeting. Any discussion or changes? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Item number 7, election of chairman of the county commission as recommended by the nominating committee. Nomination came as myself?
Yep.
Okay. I'm looking at you. You resigned. Commissioner Jacinto, all right, are there any other nominations from the floor other than myself? Okay.
I would move that nomination cease and we
Elect
move by
by
acclamation.
Second.
Thank you for that. Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you, Commission, for electing me as chairman. I promise to do everything I can, as I always do, to make you proud and run the meeting as smooth as possible. Okay. Number 8, election of the chairman pro temp of the county commission as recommended by the nominating committee. That came as a recommendation of Chris Cassidy.
Second.
Motion to approve.
Motion second.
Motion to approve.
Did you get that, Mr. Clerk? Okay. Any other nominations? All right. So I have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Commissioner Cassidy. Am I going too fast? One. Okay. Number 9, election of parliamentarian of the county commission as recommended by the nominating committee. That was Grover Bennett Jr. Any other nominations?
Move that nominations cease and elect Mr. Bennett by acclamation.
Second.
Have a motion second. Nomination cease. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Commissioner Bennett. All right, moving on to number 10, unfinished business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees, planning committee,
No unfinished business.
fiscal review committee,
No unfinished business.
and nominating committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you all. Report of special committees, rules committee. I recognize Mr. Jones.
In the January session of the legislature this year, the legislature changed or amended the Open Meetings Act to provide or to require that there be a public comment session or section of each governmental entity meeting in the state of Tennessee. But what the statute that went into effect on July 1 of this year also provides is that a governmental entity can make reasonable rules that will govern the public comment period. So we made several suggestions to the Rules Committee, and what you have in front of you or in your packet is the amendments to the rules. Amendment specifically to Rule 28. Ben, if you want to go through those, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I can go through those. So, as Mr. Jones said, according to state law, we've had to implement some rules on public comment. And Rule 3 shall be amended to include public comment in the county commission agenda immediately after unfinished business. When we get to this part, anybody that's asked to speak on any item of the agenda, so it has to be germane to the agenda. We can always allow other commissioners speak on other topics, but the law requires us to let people speak on items germane to the agenda. At this point, right after unfinished business, I'll recognize anybody that's put their name on the list according to the rules that are added. So that's where it'll be located, after number 10 today on this agenda, and it'll be actually number 7, I believe, most agendas. Next one, a rule should be added to the rules regulating the Putnam County Commission. Specifically, Rule 28 shall read as follows. Public comment at county commission meetings. County commission will reserve a period for public comment. Public comment will be limited to comments that are only relevant to the items on the agenda for the county commission. So it has to be relative, but again, we can allow others to speak if we approve to do that. 28B, each individual wishing to make a public comment before the county commission will be allowed 2 minutes to address the commission. In the sole discretion of the chairman, the time for addressing the county commission may be reasonably extended. So up to the chairman if they can go over those 2 minutes. 28C, the county commission shall only allow 4 speakers to make public comments at any one session. Ideally, what we're doing is recognizing someone or at least two people from in favor of an item on the agenda or not in favor. We can limit the amount of people to speak. That's what the law says. We don't have to allow 100 people to speak. If we pass this rule, we can do 2 and 2. Now, the chair, as always, could, with suspension of the rules by the commission, allow more. But we're established 4 speakers to make comments at any one session. 28D, any individual wishing to address the county commission must contact the office of the county mayor 5 days prior to the meeting in question to request an opportunity to address the commission. So our agendas usually go out about 8 or 9 days before our commission meeting. So that gives them 3 to 4 days, the public, to see the agenda as advertised and then contact the county mayor's office saying they want to speak.
So what these rules are designed to do is to keep some sort of control over a public comment session so that your meeting doesn't go off the rails and doesn't go on forever, okay? I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody's got questions, hit your request to speak button, please. Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. Just points of clarification here. Only 4 speakers, so if we have 6 items on the agenda and we have people wanting to speak to all 6 items, are we going to limit that to only 4 speakers total for the meeting?
But it's 4 to each item. Sorry.
Okay, well, we need to clarify that in writing if we're going to adopt that as a rule.
We can do that. Yeah. Good catch. But yes, 4 per item on the agenda. So basically, if there's a dividing line, 2 for the for and 2 for the against on one item of the agenda.
Okay, and the other thing, 28D, I'm not sure I agree with the 5 days prior to, or contacting the county mayor's office 5 days prior to. If the person doesn't hear about it for, until 2 or 3 days before, I don't know. I just don't want to preclude a public comment just because they didn't get the request form in time. That seems like a little bit of red tape.
Well, the reason again for that is so that you guys can, the reason that you have an agenda is so that you'll be able to anticipate what business is coming before you. Same thing about anybody that wants to speak to the commission about a particular item that's on the agenda at that meeting. It just gives you guys the ability to know that you're going to have some speakers from the public that want to talk about it. So, rather than it being a free-for-all.
And I appreciate that we don't want a free-for-all. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't preclude, just like we've been doing, if someone wants to speak, they can come to their commissioner who can go to the chairman.
Yeah.
So that still doesn't preclude that.
Commissioner Williams, here's the drill. What this is doing is establishing a baseline. It's establishing a baseline for control. If you guys want to deviate from this control mechanism during a meeting, that's totally up to you. Okay? But this is just putting everybody on notice that these are what the rules of the commission are.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. I just don't want to shortchange the public.
Yeah.
This is something
Of course.
that I think is a good thing the legislature has done.
Yeah, and I think this is keeping in spirit with what in fact, the statute itself gives governmental bodies the right to make these kind of rules so that you can govern your meetings. It's specifically written in the statute, so you're exactly right.
Any more discussion? We don't have a motion yet, but I wanted any questions to come out first before we entertain the motion. Okay. Anyone would like to make a motion to approve the suggested rules that were presented?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second.
I'd like to offer an amendment.
Okay.
Rule 28C, County Commission shall only allow 4 speakers per item on the agenda. Or I don't know.
Per item, okay.
Per item.
Yep.
To just kind of bring that in line with what we've just discussed.
Okay. I have an amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the amendment? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We got to have 2/3 vote, but I heard, do you want me to do a roll call?
Who seconded that?
Any opposed? Okay. Who was the second? Darren, Commissioner Wilson. So the amendment passes. Now back to the original motion as amended.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We now have rules in place for public comment. Moving on to, you good, Wayne? Moving on to other unfinished business. At this point, this is when we would have the public comment. Nobody's reached out, so we're moving on to 11. Quarterly reports and action thereon by the board. I'll do all three, as we always do. Road Fund, Randy Jones, Road Supervisor. School Funds, Corby King, Director of Schools. County General Fund, Debt Service Fund, Solid Waste Sanitation Fund, Parks and Recreation Fund, Self-Insurance Fund, Randy Porter, County Mayor. I need a motion in a second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second to approve the quarterly reports and action thereon by the board. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. New business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee.
Consider the approval of the resolution establishing a property tax-free study committee presented by Commissioner Facento.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion second. So our rules would normally allow our county mayor to appoint this committee, but the county mayor is on the committee. So Jeff Jones has told me that the chair should appoint the committee. You want to come? Well, what I was going to do is Commissioner Dunn and Commissioner Facento have been involved with the development of this. Commissioner Reel has also been involved with the development of this committee. I'm going to appoint all three of those. It's also common for our special committee that we appoint to include the chair. So I can entertain a motion for Commissioner Facento, Commissioner Reel, Commissioner Dunn, and myself to be on the committee, or you can amend, or you can not make the motion and do your own motion.
So moved.
Okay. Second.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion to establish the committee and the committee members?
All right, give me the five names again.
So there will be Commissioner Facento, Commissioner Dunn, Commissioner Reel, and myself. There's four of us, plus the ones that were in the resolution, which is already established.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We will get with the mayor and committee members and figure out the first time we're going to meet, and we'll call the meeting, okay?
Nestor.
Recommends approval of the changes of the Highway Department's personnel policy. And I so move.
Second.
Have a motion second on the Highway Department's personnel policy change. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
Recommends approval of the grant application resolution. And I so move.
Second. Second.
Motion second on the grant application resolution. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, Chairman of Planning tonight. Thank you. Fiscal Review Committee,
Time out. No,
Yes.
Madam Chairman.
hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Wayne.
I got to make that go away.
Oh, yeah, we have.
I hit it a while ago in the request to speak, and it didn't. I was expecting it to light up, but it didn't. So how do I make that go away? Huh? Okay. Clear. What's that? Hang on. Doing a little stuff here. So that's first in the discussion. Is that not going to light up red like it used to? Or is there a different situation? Click on that. Or do you hit? Does that make it? Bingo. All right. Then we're back to the vote. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Madam Chairman.
All right. Let me give a shout out to IT department. Nestor's awesome. I'm telling you. And is Jeff still in the hospital, Nestor? Jeff had gallbladder surgery. Was that right? Gallbladder surgery. So our prayers go out to Jeff tonight. To that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. He's awesome. Been up here today helping me. All right, Madam Chair. Thanks.
All right. Item A, recommend approval of budget amendments to the county general fund, and I so move.
Second.
Second.
I didn't hear a second. Oh, thank you. All right. I'm blocked here, and sometimes I'm blocked over here. So.
All right, we have a motion second. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk, you
All
ready?
right, seeing none, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there. you're voting at this time. Do not hit confirm yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I hit it. This thing's acting-
Wait a minute. Don't hit your vote. Don't hit confirm yet. Hang on. All right, now all votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, if you would, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Yeah, we're still back to the old way of doing the system, so sorry. Mr. Chairman, we have 22 voting yes, 0 no, 2 absent. I declare that motion to have passed. Madam Chair, item 2. Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Item B, recommends approval of the changes to the Highway Department's personnel policy, and I so move.
Second.
That was planning. Go down to item B on fiscal review committee.
Whew, sorry.
It's okay. It's already been a long night. It's okay.
Not, I apologize. Recommends approval of budget amendments to the general purpose school fund, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion on amendments to the general purpose school fund? Mr. Clerk?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you take your handsets, you favor the motion, vote yes. Do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote and stop right there. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, please press confirm for me, if you would, please. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, I have 22 voting yes, 0 no, 2 absent, and the roll was called. I declare the motion to have passed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Item C, recommends approval of the contract with U.S. Imaging for the scanning and conversion of warranty deed books to digital images, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, in favor of the motion, take your handsets and vote yes. Do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there. All votes are in now. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Please press confirm for me now, if you will, please. Mr. Chairman, there are 22 voting yes, 0 no, 2 absent. Roll was called to declare that motion to have passed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Item D, recommends approval for the Sheriff's Office to apply for a courtroom security grant of $183,500 with no match, and I so move.
Second.
We have a motion second. Wouldn't we just pass a resolution? We don't have to do this, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay. All right. Any discussion? All right, we can just do a voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
All right. Item E, recommends approval of the lease between the Putnam County Board of Education and Apple for 1,000 MacBooks at the cost of $1,672,950 total over 4 years, and I so move.
Second.
Motion second on the motion, or the item on the agenda. Motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Commissioner Bennett.
Does the school board have this money in their budget already, or is this something we'll have to appropriate money for?
I'm going to say they have it, but I'll get a nod from Mark Reynolds if they do. Yes, they have it in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets. If you favor the motion, vote yes. Do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Please press confirm now for me, if you would, please. Everybody press confirm.
There you go.
Commissioner Bradford and Commissioner Tays.
Press confirm. Yes. All right. Good job. Mr. Chairman, we have 22 voting yes, 0 no, 2 absent. When the roll is called, I declare that motion to have passed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Item F recommends approval of conditional option on a portion of the old fairgrounds property for the new VA clinic, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Bennett?
Yes, this is for Mayor Porter. If this building comes in, will it be privately owned and leased to the federal government, or will it be federally owned?
It will be privately owned and leased to the federal government.
So there will be property taxes generated for the county. Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? Mr. Clerk?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, hang on. All right, here we go. In favor of the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there.
Mr. Jones? I'm sorry.
Actually, if we could make a part of that motion that giving Mayor Porter the authority to fill in both the amount of money in Section 1.4 and also the portion of property that's going to actually be part of the conditional option.
All right. You make that in your motion? Where did the motion come from? Oh, it came from Commissioner Dunn. Is that?
So I will need to amend my motion.
Yeah, I
that
apologize. I should have mentioned that at the outset.
That's okay. So we'll expand on that motion to add the language that Mayor Porter to fill in the amount agreed upon for that portion of the property.
And then the actual portion of the property.
And then the actual portion of the property that's remaining.
You second? You agree with that?
Yes, I'll
Okay.
second that.
Okay.
Okay with that?
So any more discussion on that before we? Okay. Everybody good? Okay. You can go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
All right.
So if you hadn't.
Who's going to, all right, Chelsea, you going to get me an amendment on that tomorrow? Okay, because we're slinging a lot of stuff tonight. Okay. All right. We're still in the voting mode. We're not in the confirmation vote, so we're still here. If you favor the motion with the amendment, press yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there. I lack 2 people voting tonight, Mr. Riddle, Mr. Moss. Oh, no. Good. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Please now press confirm for me. Everybody press confirm, please. Good deal. Mr. Chairman, we have 22 voting yes, 0 no, 2 absent. When the roll is called, I declare that motion is amended to have passed.
Thank you, and that concludes fiscal review.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Nominating committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Start with item A. Recommend approval of the following to fill 4 vacancies on the Minutes Committee. 1-year term to expire September of 2024. Parliamentarian, Fiscal Review Chairman, Nominating Chairman, and Planning Chairman. I so move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. These are the rules of these 4 members. You can ask questions, but any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion passes.
Item B, recommend approval of nominating appointment to fill a vacancy on the Joint Economic Development Committee, term to expire September 2027. Someone can help me with that name. I don't have the notes from the meeting. Do we need to provide the name? Sam Tays. Thank you, Mayor. I so move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item C, recommend approval to fill 2 vacancies on the Mayor Board, term to expire September 2026. I know Commissioner Facento, myself, was one. I believe it was Dale Moss.
No, Mr.
Danny Holmes.
Danny Holmes
Yeah.
was the other one, Dale. I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second for Vinnie Facento and Danny Holmes on the beer board. Any discussion? Any other nomination? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
Item D, recommends approval of the nominating appointment to serve on the Upper Cumberland Regional Airport Board of Adjustments for a 3-year term to expire September of 2026. Mayor, will you help me with that name again? Thank you. I so move.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
No further business.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Report of special committees. Resolutions.
There are no resolutions, Mr. Chairman.
Election notaries.
Here we go. Taylor Anderson, Martha S. Anderson, Christy Ball, Sean M. Brown, Heather L. Bryant, Michael E. Buckner, Denise F. Burgess, Jennifer Carr, Jamie Craighead, Clayton Dodson, Donna C. Eldridge, Michelle Hedrick, Diane Heron, Amy C. Heron, Monica Hutchison, Frank Kessler, Brandy Lean, Megan Looper, Lee H. Maxwell, Cynthia Ogletree, Jaquala Ragland, Katie Renfro, Jennifer Reddick, Jessica McCart Robertson, Brandy Michelle Savage, Ashley Lynn Stafford, Daphne Tapp, Courtney Thompson, and last, Sarita Wells.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion second. Any discussion on notaries? When you're ready, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets. Everybody press yes and stop right there. All we're doing is confirming just what we've already got approved. Now, please press confirm for me, if you would, please. We have to always vote notaries. We appreciate your help with those. Everybody press confirm. Miss Teresa. Yes. Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Chairman, you do have 22 yes, 0 no, 2 absent. I declare that motion to pass.
All right. Other new business. Ratification of the county mayor's appointments to serve on the ethics for a one-year term to expire September 2024. The parliamentarian would be Grover Bennett Jr., Chris Cassidy, and Kim Bradford.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you for the motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Number 2, ratification of the county mayor's appointments to serve on the Regional Planning Commission term ending September 2027. Jeff Jones and David Matson.
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Recognizing the road inventory for the highway department. It is in the packet.
It's in there. We don't need a motion.
No.
I didn't think so.
Number 4, elected chairman of the commission to appoint 5 members to serve on the rules committee would be same as last year. Commissioner Danny Holmes, Commissioner Kathy Reel, Commissioner Chris Cassidy, Commissioner Sam Sandlin, and the parliamentarian Commissioner Grover Bennett.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I don't think I have to have a motion to. No offense. Thank you, though. Thank you for your support. I do appreciate that.
Give me those again.
Danny Holmes, Chris Cassidy, Sam Sandlin, Kathy Reel, and then Grover Bennett.
I missed
He's on there because of being parliamentarian.
Gotcha. Thanks.
All right. Mayor Porter, you want to right now, or was you? Or you said announcements and statements, right? Oh, we do have new business. Sorry. Commissioner Facinto, I'm recognize you. Give you the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After careful consideration, I'm going to resign as the chairman of the nominating committee first. Secondly, I'm going to resign from the nominating committee. That first meeting just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I would prefer to exit that situation as quickly as possible so we could have an open seat and reelect that official next month. Thank you.
We need a motion, a second, to accept his resignation.
Motion.
We have a motion, second. Any discussion on Commissioner Facinto's resignation from the nominating committee? Very well said. You're a gentleman. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, now we're going to announcements and statements, and we'll recognize Mayor Porter, then we'll recognize Commissioner Sandlin. So, Mayor Porter.
I know what'll be the headlines on the newspaper now tomorrow. I just want to give you some quick updates on several projects that we got going on I thought you might be interested in. The Martin Creek Water Project, we awarded that bid. We're waiting on the contractor to get all of his bonds submitted to us. I think they've probably already ordered a lot of the pipe and stuff, so that project will be starting construction very soon. The Cave Care Water Project goes out to bid this week. We'll open those bids towards the end of October, and hopefully they'll come in within budget. The Green Mountain Water Project is completed. I think several folks already got their water turned on, and that's a great project. We thank the City of Allgood for working with us on that. The new Convention and Welcome Center down at the new fairgrounds, construction started on that about 2 weeks ago. So it's started, depending on weather, probably looking in the 12 to 14, 16-month time frame for that to be completed.
May I ask a question? What's the size on that building?
It's about 14,000 square foot. That's off the top of my head now, Kathy.
Okay. I was just curious. I was down at Smith County for Congressman Rose's event, and I was curious how that related in size.
Yeah, now remember, that's the smallest building.
Right.
The Expo Center will be 50 to 60,000 square feet
Right.
once we sell the old fairgrounds. This is the smaller of the two. The new fairgrounds earthwork, streets and utilities are going really well. Hopefully that'll all be completed by the end of the year. They're putting utilities in the ground now with the electric and fiber and all that kind of stuff, and they're getting ready to gravel and start paving the streets. So you'll see some major work going on in the next couple of months there. Talked to Twin Lakes Telephone this past week. The fiber project of running fiber to all the rest of the homes in the county that don't have high-speed internet is ahead of schedule. They started going up Pfeiffer Mountain and Poplar Grove, went up to Monterey, working all that area, and then we'll come back down north. Kim, looks like we're going to have to wait just a little while, but I know a bunch of people got turned on last week on Pfeiffer
So
Mountain.
my brethren in Quinlan Lake are still in trouble.
Yeah, I know, Kathy. We moved to the wrong place, didn't we? But it's ahead of schedule, so if it's ahead of schedule, they were supposed to have it done, I think, by the end of next year, so hopefully we're seeing some major progress happen
Gee
there.
whiz, I'm gonna have to wait till the end of next year.
I'm not saying that. I just said that's when the schedule is.
I will start. We'll start it.
It's a process they go through of clearing the right of way, fiber, running it to the homes and building these buildings that house it. So it's a big project. School transportation, county highway facility, the committee met last week, the final meeting. Those bids go out this week. So hopefully those will come in good too. So that's just some update on a lot of the projects we've got going on.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Question
Mayor.
for you about the fairgrounds. When do you have in the schedule to build the freestanding restrooms out there?
That's in the capital projects budget to happen sometime between now and next summer. We've got the architects that's drawing the plans for those, and I think our county maintenance group is going to do a lot of that ourselves. We can save a lot of money, and we'll put out some of it, like the concrete slab and stuff, maybe to a vendor, but we're going to do the plumbing and stuff like that.
Are we going to try to have that before the 4th of July event out there?
That's the goal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner Sandlin?
Yes, thank you. Ben, thank you. Last spring, we went to a state-sponsored county budget school, and I know Commissioner Randolph was there, Commissioner Andrews, myself, and Mayor Porter, and some others may have been there, but they talked about we have 4 sources of revenue, and we've got sales tax, which we're maxed on the local portion. We've got hotel motel tax, which we're maxed on the local portion. We've got wheel tax, if we had one, which you could have control over, and then personal and real property tax, which we have control over. Well, the wheel tax, it seemed like during the Budget Committee this spring, there was a lot of interest in that, and there always has been as an alternative to real and personal property tax. And it can't just happen. You know, it seemed like this spring people wanted to say, well, let's pass the wheel tax, or let's make a run at it, or this and that. It takes months. If we started today to initiate a wheel tax, I don't think it could be on a ballot until either next May or next August. I don't know the referendum for that. So I just wanted to say that those of you that were interested in that as a component of our revenue sources need to get started on that and work through Ben, Chairman Rogers, because it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of planning, and probably have to do it in a referendum. And I believe this county's voted 3 times on wheel tax with different targets. You can say this much and never be more than that, and you can say it only be used for schools or whatever. And it's been voted on 3 times, and it's been beat each time. So if some of you want to explore this avenue of revenue increase, you need to get going on it. I don't want to do it myself. I don't want to lead it, but I'll help if somebody wants to holler at it. All right. The other thing I want to talk about was our commissioners' compensation. You know, this is for the newer members, I guess, the first-term members. We never vote on what the mayor makes. We never vote on what the sheriff makes. We never vote on the mayor or sheriff's raise. And it's because it was set by the legislature, and so are their raises. Every year they say, well, I guess the cost of living is 3%. And Mayor Porter, you get a 3% raise this year. It's out of our hands to vote on. And in my first term, in the second year of my first term, I felt like that we as a commission ought to be, we're elected too, just like they are, that we ought to be tied to the same thing. And I did bring to the commission that we hook our salaries to the same state appointments that the other elected officials are. And what I didn't bring with me was I didn't particularly care if we got a raise or not. I just wanted to hook future raises to the same thing that the other elected officials are. Well, we got into a discussion as to, well, I want this much of a raise, and the other people said, no, if we're going to vote ourselves a raise, we need more than that and this and that. And what it amounted to, nothing got passed. It was close, but nothing got passed. I would like to make a run at that again, noting that anything we pass won't happen until the next commission sits. So anything that we do along our own compensation won't be in effect until 2026 when the newly elected commission, so we can't give ourselves a raise as such. We can just set it up as a vehicle. So what I would like to do, I would like to come to the commission next meeting with a proposal that we hook it to the state for their annual raises. And if you would call me, I would like to get some kind of consensus, just one-on-one. If you've got any idea about what you would like to see, I wish you'd call me and we'll talk about it, and we'll come to the commission with hopefully a passable proposal. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to bring those 2 things up.
Thank you. So just not to violate sunshine law, if you want to call Commissioner Sandlin with an idea, like, I have this idea, give him an idea. That's fine. You can say whatever, but y'all cannot deliberate to a decision when you talk. If you deliberate to decisions, it's a violation of sunshine law. Commissioners can talk to each other. There's a big thing about you can't ever talk to each other. How do you get anything done? Well, you can talk. You can ask each other questions. You can ask me questions as your chairman. You can ask County Mayor Randy Porter. You can ask County Attorney Jeff Jones. If you call him, say, I'd like to see us tied to the county mayor's salary divided by 24 times divided by 10, whatever. But don't deliberate. All right?
Don't what?
Deliberate to a decision. If you get a phone call from your counterpart, Commissioner Chaffin, and y'all think, well, I think it should be this, I think it should be that.
Ryan call me without us deliberating, just a phone call and talk a little? That's not violating anything.
Just don't, I'm going to vote this way, I'm going to vote that way. If you do this, I'll do that. I'll scratch your, no, don't do that.
No.
But you can have a discussion, okay? I like you thinking, I like commissioners thinking, that's, so any questions you have, call Commissioner Sandlin, call me, call Mayor Porter. Other counties some counties do tie their salaries to an elected official. They take the total salary, divide it by whatever they want to. It's not the same, of course, as a full-time elected official, but there's equations there, and that can be discussed. So,
and nothing's been done about our compensation, about the commission compensation since 2006. So, I mean, they got 17 years we've been locked in the same thing, and that's why I thought we ought to bring it up. It ought to be reasonable.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin. Anybody else?
And don't call me to deliberate. Just call me and we'll talk.
Please. Please. Anyone else? All right. Thank you all. I know the first meeting's always a long one with everything going on, but y'all were patient. You were kind. Thank you for that. Good job in the committees before the commission meeting. Good discussion. Y'all are great, and thank you for your approval. Do I get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.